The back cover says Elizabeth and Jessica don't want a third twin. This is dumb, because having a triplet was literally the plot of the previous book. Continuity! Also, it's an inaccurate summary. Elizabeth is totally fine with Mary.
Argofont Book Review, Argofont Book Review.
At a Unicorn Club meeting, Janet says they need to raise money so they can have a dance. Mary suggests making a celebrity cookbook. They'll write to celebrities and ask for food recipes, because famous movie stars totally cook all their meals. I have an old cookbook with a celebrity recipe section. Dorothy in Memphis has recipes from soap opera stars. So celebrity cookbooks were something people did in the 1980s. Jessica volunteers to write the recipes on her electric typewriter, even though she doesn't know how to type, and besides, it's her sister's typewriter, not hers. Jessica could save herself a lot of trouble in the future if she stopped making unrealistic promises for no reason. Elizabeth agrees to type Jessica's letter if Jessica takes a phone call for her. Jessica tries, but she messes up all the names and dates. As a result, Liz's newspaper article is full of errors. Mr. Bowman still likes the paper enough that he enters them in a school newspaper competition. The book almost gives Mr. Bowman his own story. Elizabeth and her friends gossip about his birthday, his grades, and his fancy new clothes. That's 3 different chapters. They think he got a girlfriend. The story goes nowhere. Mary invites herself over to the house every day. She always volunteers to help with the dishes and cooking. Mrs. Wakefield thinks she's wonderful. Jessica thinks she's creepy. I should note that Mary is a foster child. She doesn't have a mother. So it makes sense that Mary would feel attached to a woman who looks just like her real mom. Jessica doesn't care. She hates the idea of Mary being with her mom. Jessica's face turns red with rage to see them together. Jessica avoids Mary and pretends to be sick, but that doesn't stop Mary from coming over. Jessica complains loudly and forces Elizabeth to ban Mary from the house. Mary cries when she learns she's been banned, but Jessica refuses to give in. You creep me out, so you don't deserve happiness. Jessica accidentally ruins one of Elizabeth's newspaper columns again. Instead of owning up to her mistake, Jessica rewrites the article in question, hoping no one will notice. She spells everything wrong and includes a recipe for pork ribs, which is just plain weird. Elizabeth gets mad that Jessica changed her article without permission. Everyone likes Jessica's version better, including Mr. Bowman. Elizabeth is forced to admit that Jessica's article is kind of fun, and the fight ends there. Jessica hears a rumor that Mary will be adopted soon. She writes that in the newspaper, too. Mary cries and has a heart-to-heart talk with Elizabeth. Mary says she was kidnapped from Kansas when she was 4. The kidnapper brought her to California and quickly abandoned her. Mary has been in and out of foster homes ever since. She still hopes her real mother will find her someday. Guess what happens next? A woman shows up at school asking to meet Mary. Elizabeth doesn't know about stranger danger, so she lets the unknown woman into her house. Everyone's surprised to learn the stranger is Mary's long-lost mother. Mrs. Robinson tells her side of the story, although she leaves out details like why Mary was kidnapped, or why she still calls herself Mrs. Robinson when she was divorced 10 years ago and Mr. Robinson has long since remarried. The kidnapper got away with the crime by changing Mary's last name. I guess that means 4-year-old Mary didn't know her own name. The case was closed last week when the kidnapper was arrested on unrelated charges. That's how Mary's mom found her. Mary moves in with her mom, the cookbook sale is a big success, and Elizabeth wins the newspaper contest. In the preview of the next book, Lila lies about her English grades, so her father will get her a horse. She decides to call Elizabeth for advice when she learns that taking care of a horse involves actual work. The end. Post-book follow-up. I don't know why Jessica never talked to Mary about the mom issue. It feels like that would have avoided the entire conflict. The twins don't talk to their mom about it either. That feels weird too. Jessica normally doesn't avoid confrontations. It's like the author purposely made Jessica act out of character just so there could be a story. The ending to the story was pretty unrealistic. In real life, Mary would have been reunited with her mother much sooner. Mary knew the year and location of her kidnapping, which was reported to the police. Did the California foster care system not even try to locate her mother? In Chapter 2, Jessica brings Elizabeth's typewriter home from school. The unicorns break it, Mary fixes it. Jessica wonders where Mary learned how to use typewriters. We never learn! That was a random throwaway chapter. I get the sense the book might have been too short, so there was a fair amount of unnecessary material added. I mean, I like seeing Stephen in this series, but he has never been important, ever. Overall, I didn't like the book, but it's not like it was bad. Kinda boring, lacking a little focus. Maybe Mary likes my mom too much. Wasn't a good enough premise to support an entire book. I give Sweet Valley Twins number 7, Three's a Crowd, a 4 out of 10.